Hey guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to another video. Keqing is going to be on the next featured banner, and even though there's already tons of guides out there, I plan to make a guide for each new character in the rate up banner, and maybe a 4-star character in between. Before we get into the video, 97% of you guys aren't subscribed, and I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. It would help me out a lot, and it makes it easier for me to continue making content like this for you guys, and we are so close to 1k subs. I'll be going over two different builds, Electro Keqing and Physical Keqing. What team comps to run, artifacts, and the best weapons for them. Okay, let's get right into it. Keqing is an amazing 5-star with an amazing kit. Her skill allows her to disappear and reappear, making her look super cool. It can be used while exploring, making her really mobile. Her burst also looks sick, super fast strikes in a short period of time. It just looks pretty, man. She gets put behind the curve due to the fact she is Electro. Was Electro meant to do damage or do support things, Mahoyo? With Superconduct reducing physical defense, Overload breaking Geoshield and doing knockback, and Electro Charge causing stagger to enemies, it really seems like Electro is a support element, like Anemo, which makes no sense. I hope they rework Electro because it is weak in damage in comparison to Vaporize and Melt. For Keqing's talent, she has a ridiculous, and I mean ridiculous, charge attack ratio. I mean, look at that, 320% charge attack damage. That can happen really fast. It's insane. All of her talents are good, and upgrading any is extremely good. We want to take full advantage of her talent spread. This will be a bit different to Zhao's. Okay, so the first priority is to get all of her talents to level 6. After that, we want to focus on getting her normal attacks to level 8, then her burst to level 8, and then her skill. The reason for this spread is that all of her talents are crucial and we want to be maximizing her damage as much as possible. Obviously, you want to get her normal attacks level 10 because damage. However, you don't want to be spending an extra 4 Ring of Boreas on her normal attack when you can give them to her burst and her skill instead, because there is a downtime on her charge attacks. That's either when you are using your skill, using your burst, or doing a rotation. Then you want to get her normal attacks level 10, then her burst, then her skill. Charge attacks, and charge attacks. All you need to know for Keqing, just spam that charge attack. You have two different opening combos with Keqing, depending on whether you are going Electro or Physical. For Electro, you want to use your skill and then recast it again. This way, you will get the Electro Fusion on your attacks, and then just wail and spam your charge attacks all day long, baby. With Physical, her opening is a bit different. For Physical, you want to make sure you apply Superconduct, reducing the enemy's physical defense by 40%. Important to deal a lot of damage. So, having a Cryo user on your team is a must. You want to apply Cryo first onto the enemy and then switch into Keqing. Use her skill, and then use a charge attacks to proc her slashing damage on her skill. You will apply Superconduct and then just spam charge attacks as you do. This way you'll have a lot of uptime on her charge attacks. Just note that Superconduct does spread to nearby enemies. In my Zhao guide, a lot of people skip through this part, so I'll just make this nice and short. Here is a chart of everything you need for her. You have to farm her Ascension materials from the Electro Hypostasis. To level up her talent, you need to farm the Wolf and get the Ring of Boreas, and you can farm for her talent books from the Tyson Mansion on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Okay, time for Keqing's team comps. First, I will be going over her Electro team comps and then her Physical team comps. I will be doing tiers, then I'll go into my theory crafted team comp suggestions. I won't be doing a full analysis for Keqing support characters, but I will keep it really short and sweet for you guys. I will give a short explanation for why I put a character in S tier. A new thing I'll be trying out in my guides is that going forward, I'll be putting artifact set recommendations for each support character in my charts. We will be going over 3 different categories: Healer, Sub DPS, and Enhancer. In S tier, for the best healer for Electro Keqing, it's Bennett. Bennett's burst can heal and give Keqing a major attack boost. You can combo this by using a Bennett burst first, then straight into a Keqing burst for some serious damage. He takes the S position as he is a 2-in-1, a damage enhancer and healer. I recommend going 4-piece Noblesse Oblige on Bennett. If you do run Bennett, make sure you run an Anemo support character. Also in S tier we have Jean. She is a healer and a damage enhancer due to the fact she is Anemo. With the Viridescent Vanilla set, she reduces Electro res by 40%. I recommend going the 4-piece Viridescent Vanilla set on Jean. If someone is already running it, get 4-piece Noblesse Oblige. If someone is already running that, get 2-piece Viridescent Vanilla and 2-piece Gladiator. You guys know this was coming. I mean, there's no contest on this. In S tier we have Jinqiu. This guy does everything. To damage reductions, to heals, to stack resistance, and a crap ton of damage. Seriously, how can he be this good? There are 2 sets you can go on Jinqiu. 4-piece Noblesse Oblige. If you already have someone who is using this set, give him the 2-piece Noblesse Oblige and the 2-piece Heart of Death. This will just elevate Jinqiu's burst damage. Ganyu is also in S tier. Her burst does a lot of damage in a massive AoE, dealing AoE cryo damage. Keqing's burst synergizes very well with Ganyu's burst, as they both do lots of AoE damage. The difference between Ganyu's and Kaeya's burst is that Kaeya's burst is not AoE, and isn't guaranteed to hit all enemies like Ganyu's does. And it also doesn't disappear during Keqing's burst. For artifact sets, it's the same as Jinqiu. Run the 4-piece Noblesse Oblige. If someone else is already running that, you want to run 2-piece Noblesse Oblige and 2-piece Blizzard Slayer. And last but not least, in S tier sub DPS we have Albedo. He does an insane amount of damage with his skill, and when you top it off with the 4-piece set of Archaic Petra, he becomes a 2-in-1 damage enhancer and sub DPS. When an Electro Crystal is picked up, everyone on the team will do an extra 35% Electro damage, which is insane. An amazing artifact set, really. If you already have someone else running this set, you can run the 4-piece Noblesse Oblige instead. If someone else is running that set, you can go 2-piece Archaic Petra and 2-piece Gambler or 2-piece Noblesse on Albedo. In S tier, we got the one and only undefeated best character in the game. Get him while you can, Zhao. Just kidding, Venti. This guy is insane. If you don't have him, make sure you do when the banner comes out for the rerun. He provides way too good of utility. If Electro is infused in his burst, it will give all Electro users 15 energy, meaning you only need to get 25 to have Keqing's burst back up. His burst groups mobs together for an easy Keqing burst. I can go all day long about Venti. Seriously, get this guy. You want to run the 4-piece Viridescent Vanilla set on him. In the recent 1.3 update, he has finally taken back his throne of becoming a god. Zhong to the Li. He provides amazing CC with his burst. His shield now reduces enemy defenses by 20%. Insane. And you won't die with his daddy shield. Easily S tier. Artifacts will be the same as Albedo's minus the Gambler set. Last but not least in S tier we have Mona. Her burst will increase Keqing's damage and do a lot of damage itself. It also has a mini CC putting enemies to sleep. You can pair up Mona's and Keqing's burst to do massive damage. For Mona, you want to run the 4-piece Noblesse Oblige. If someone else is already running it, get 2-piece Noblesse and 2-piece Heart of Death. Here are some Electro team comps you can go on Keqing. This comp I call Let's Do Some Big Burst Damage. This comp comprises of Keqing, Mona, or a Geo user of your choice with the 4-piece Archaic Petra set, Bennett and any Anemo character with the 4-piece Viridescent Vanilla set, preferably Sucrose or Venti. You reduce the enemy's electro resistance while buffing Keqing's damage, meaning big gal, big boss, burst damage. Another comp you can do is the charge attack spam. This comp focuses on charge attacks. You can go Jinqiu, any Anemo character, Chungyun, Prinzessin de Vudutalong, or Beidou for that electro resonance, and then any healer. Even better if you use Jean so you can free up the Anemo slot and bring in another sub DPS character. We don't increase Keqing's damage with this build, but she'll be dishing out a lot of damage with her charge attacks and normal attacks, with compliments of Jinqiu and the other sub DPS characters. Okay, time for physical team comps. In S tier we have Diona. She is a 2-in-1, she can apply super contact and she can heal. Essentially freeing up a slot so you can bring in another sub DPS and support characters in. You want to run 4-piece Noblesse Oblige or 4-piece Maidens if someone else is already running Noblesse Oblige. Also in S tier we have Keqing. For the same exact reasons as Diona, she can heal and apply superconduct, essentially freeing up a slot. You want to run 4-piece Noblesse Oblige or 4-piece Maidens if someone else is already running it. Diona is slightly better than Keqing due to the fact her shield provides utility. We also have Bennett again in S tier. Him giving a bunch of attack increase is just insane. I don't need to talk about him too much, honestly, it speaks for itself. You can run another Pyro character alongside Bennett for Pyro Resonance. In S tier we have no other than Jinkyu again. Same reasons as stated for Electro Keqing. Also in S tier we have Keya. He brings in good sub DPS and also applies Superconduct, which is key. You want to run the 4-piece Noblesse set on him, and if someone's already running it, 2-piece Noblesse and 2-piece Blizzard Slayer to further increase Keya's burst damage. We can't forget about Ganyu. Same reasons as stated for Electro Keqing, but with the added fact that she can apply Superconduct. For enhancers in S tier we have Mona. For the same reasons stated for Electro Keqing, we want to increase Keqing's damage, and this is one of the ways to do it. Another enhancer we have is Zhongli. Same reasons stated for Electro Keqing, the only other way outside of Superconduct to reduce enemies' defense. I also have a special mention of C4 Xinyan. Her Ascension 4 increases physical damage by 15%, and her Constellation decreases enemy defense by 15%. A lot better than Zhongli in this regard, and pairs really well with a Bennett because Pyro Resonance, 25 attack, percent boost, crazy. For artifact sets you want to run 4-piece Noblesse Oblige. If someone is already running that, then go 2-piece Gladiator, 2-piece Bloodstained or 2-piece Noblesse Oblige. Get whichever combination of the best artifacts you have for these. Because we just want to increase Xinyan's burst damage, that's all that really matters. All these builds rely on Keqing's charge attacks. These are just some you can do. For the first build we have the crit rate boost comp. Keqing, Jinkyu or any enhancer, Diona or Kiki, and Keya or Ganyu. Having 2 cryos are key so we can get the cryo resonance buff. With so many cryo users, enemies will be marked with cryo for a long time, giving Keqing a crit boost rate of 15%. Very fun team comp if you heavily invest into crit damage. For the second build, it's all about making Keqing the star, and making her charge attacks hurt like hell. We want Keqing, Diona or Kiki, a C4 Xinyan, and a Bennett. This is the best way to really make her attacks hurt. Plus, we also get the Pyro Resonance buff, which gives us a whopping 25% extra attack boost. There are a lot of comps you can do with Keqing as she is super flexible. Whether you want to go Electro or Physical, it's really up to you and what gives you the most fun. In S tier we have the Primordial Jade Cutter. It gives crit rate, which synergizes well with her main stat, which is crit damage, and it provides tankiness and attack to Keqing. This is her best weapon at the current moment in time. In second, also in S tier, is the Summit Shaper. All this does is provide attack and nothing else. A lot of attack, like a lot, but nothing else. In S tier we also have a special mention of the Skyward Blade. It has high base stack, and you will have no trouble spamming Keqing's elemental burst with the energy recharge it provides. Your attack speed will be increased, and every normal attack and charge attack will do an extra amount of damage of 20% per charge attack and normal attack. 60% extra damage with a combo. Crazy stuff. In A tier we have the Lion's Roar. Since we are using her burst and skill, this is the only 4-star weapon that will give Keqing an overall damage boost in her kit. The more refinements you have of this, it only gets better. Also in A tier we have the Black Sword, a good weapon overall, but it doesn't give any extra damage to Keqing's skill or burst, so it does fall behind Lion's Roar. For artifact sets, it's a bit tricky. It depends on what you're running as your team comp. The best one to run overall is 2-piece Thundering Fury and 2-piece Gladiator. The ideal one you want to run on Keqing is the 4-piece Thunder Soother. However, if your team does constant Superconduct or Overload, stay away from this, as Thunder Soother set only works if they are afflicted with Electro. The only reaction that makes this stay is Electro charged. It will give Keqing the best amount of damage, but if you're doing co-op where you can't control the reactions, it's really not ideal. So I highly recommend just going for 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Thundering Fury. For Timepiece you want attack percentage, for Goblet you want Electro damage percentage. And for Circlet go for crit rate or crit damage. Get whichever gives you the best 1-to-2 crit rate to crit damage ratio. For example, if you have 50% crit rate, you ideally want 100% crit damage. Another example is that if you have 75% crit rate, you ideally want 150% crit damage. Substats you want to go for is crit rate, crit damage, and attack percentage. For physical Keqing, there is one undisputed best weapon for her, and it's Aquila Favonius. It has high base attack, gives physical, and an attack percentage boost, which is insane, and it can heal. Mind blowing. Boom! Other S tier weapons you can run on her is the Primordial Jade Cutter or the Summit Shaper. Okay, these two weapons have been hotly debated on what is better, you actually need to calculate between both weapons to see what is better for your Keqing. If your Keqing lacks crit rate and crit damage, the black sword will be better to run. However, if you do have your Keqing built properly, Prototype Ranker wipes the floor on the black sword. Overall, get Prototype Ranker. It has high base attack and gives an attack and defense boost. And it will scale with your Keqing better than the black sword, as you'll be farming for artifacts the more you play the game. So you'll naturally just get better artifacts in general. For artifact sets, you want the 2-piece Bloodstain and the 2-piece Gladiator. The 4-piece Gladiator doesn't help too much due to the fact it only boosts normal attacks and not charged. For a timepiece, you want attack percentage. For Goblet, you want physical damage. And for Circlet, it will be crit rate or crit damage. Get whatever gives you that 1 to 2 crit rate to crit damage ratio the best. Substats you want to go for is crit rate, crit damage, and attack percentage. Thank you guys so much for watching my Keqing guide. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, as it really does help me out a lot. And if you do plan on running for Keqing, best of luck, and I hope you get her.